Okay, here's Jeff's final run of the 1995 Del Mar NSA Pro Contest. Let's check it out. Oh, he's getting the crowd pumped up. Sad point. Sad egg. Don't ever do those. Terrible. Hand drag. Rolling in, gonna get a hell of speed going here. Oh yeah. Backside tweaker. Backside air. Oh, he's gone. Knee to tail. Inside grind. Ooh, frontside boneless. Leg tuck. Nice. Oh, he's gonna get the speed on the backside collars. Look out. Look out, he's hauling ass. Board slide, probably about 6 to 7 blocks. He's not done yet. Rolling back in. Oh, he bailed. Hey, how are my people doing? Today's Sunday, January 14th, and I'm going to talk about one of the most legendary figures in skateboarding that there ever were, Jeff Grosso. And he was a very interesting character. He was born on April 28, 1968, and he started at a relatively young age. I think he said he picked up his first board in 1977 and said it was just a piece of crap. He was living in Eagle Rock, California. Piece of crap, even though urethane wheels were already out. The board had clay wheels, so he would just sort of, bomb hills and just make do with what he had. Well, he ended up after he left. He was born in Glendale, California. After he had left Eagle Rock, he ended up in Arcadia. And it wasn't too far away from the skate parks that he normally frequented, which were, and he claims that there were about 30 minutes in each, direction, and his parents would take him there. Skated Colton, Upland, Big O, mostly Whittier, Skate City is where he did, where he sort of learned to all of his tricks and developed his own style. And I've always liked Jeff. He is one of my favorite skaters. Just, according to Tony Hawk, he wasn't the most talented skater, but his heart and soul were pretty much incomparable to anyone else, along with his knowledge and history of skateboarding. But the reason I like him is his sense of humor, just always self-deprecating, and just a funny guy all the way around. And his power and the unique style, the way he would do backside methods is kind of the way that I did them. Backside airs. I couldn't really arch my back like all the way out, so I would just sort of pull the board up behind me. So that's kind of how I did them. I couldn't do them Christian Hosoi or Sergio Ventura style. There's just no way. I couldn't go high enough anyway. But so he ended up getting his first sponsors. I think Van sponsored him when he was 14, and Veriflex. He said that he got a Alan Losi board. He was so stoked to get his first package in the mail from Veriflex. And then during the mid 80s, he started skating for Santa Cruz, pretty much exclusively riding the Rob Roscott, the first, the hand through the target model. And I think the picture that I saw was in Thrasher of him. And this is kind of when he was winning all the amateur contests. doing a big tweak backside air at Del Mar, and I saw the board he was riding. So Christmas of, I want to say 85, I got a pink Roscop, the original one, with some crappy, I can't even remember what kind of trucks they were on it. They were painted black, and the wheels were Sim Streets 85A. You know, it was a really good board. I loved it. Of course, I had plastic junk all over it, and you know, wanted to protect the graphics and all that kind of stuff. So that was my first real board, and I attribute that to seeing that ad in Thrasher with Jeff. So, you know, he was pretty, I wouldn't say, after he was #1 amateur, then he skated amateur for Powell Peralta. And about that time he was featured in the Future Primitive video. I think that was right when he got sponsored. And then that sponsorship, there's some video of him in that in there skating this weird pole that Steve Cavallero does that big frontside invert in. And they're all out there spray painting, and Craig Stesick is out there. It was just, that was when the 80s boom started taking off, and I mentioned that earlier in my Christian to the Soy video. And I really wish that I had gotten some footage from that. And I'd like to take this time out to thank J. Grant Brittain for giving me some photos of Jeff that I'm using in this video. It was really nice of him to do that. So if you're watching, Grant, thank you. So, you know, he went to, after Santa Cruz, he went to Powell, and he went back to Santa Cruz briefly and had a model out or two, and then went to Paul Schmidt's company. Well, I think he was partnered with John Lucero. I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. He was really good friends with Lucero, and Schmidt Sticks was the sponsor after that. And you know, he had varying degrees of success. I don't know how well his board sold. I don't think I ever had one of them. But you know, as I mentioned in the Soy video, you know, the big boom, the skateboarding boom that Powell guys sort of led and was later sort of destroyed by World Industries, it was on the decline. And even though Jeff was skating and ripping, of course, you know, he started getting into, he mentioned in a Juice article where he was interviewed, by the way, that was the first publication when it was in Wilmington that I ever wrote for. And if Terry, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing well, before they moved to Venice. But in that interview, Jim Murphy and Steve Olson interviewed him, and I got some of the information from that article. I think it was Juice number 60. I think that article came out. So when the boom, you know, Tony Hawk said they were struggling. Christian said they were struggling as street skating sort of rose up, and Jeff would kind of goof around at street contests. He wasn't really much of a street skater, but he had gotten into cocaine. And I think the 1989 Speed Freak Santa Cruz video, because I think he was riding OJ2s. He may have been. He was living with Steve Salva, and they're in the bathroom. I guess Salva had cut his hair. And then Jeff shaves his eyebrows off with a razor. You know, and you hear somebody go, "What are you doing?" And he's like, it's so fun. He's like, "I'm at the forefront of fashion." And then he's laying out by the pool, and he's like, "Oh, life is so great being a professional skateboarder. Oh, the mail's here. Time to get paid." And he goes out, and I guess he gets his paycheck from his board. But it was all dwindling down, and then he kind of sank further into, he had gotten into heroin. And you know, it was just an unfortunate situation. I think he kind of bottomed out. He was couch surfing. I think he may have been homeless at one point. But in, I want to say 2000, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, 2005 maybe, I knew he got sober. And then in the early to mid 2000s, he partnered up with Rick Chernowski, and I can't remember the other producer's name. They put together Grosso's Love Letters to Skateboarding. Very entertaining, very informative, all kinds of topics, all inclusive. He did an episode on transgender gay lesbian skateboarders. He did them on stickers, how stickers are the most important thing. He did them on, you know, just about anything, the proper way to do this trick. You know, if you're gonna do a frontside air, tuck your damn knee. You know, just hilarious. I mean, they're really funny episodes, and he did, I'm not quite sure how many episodes of those he did, and he had come back. He had gotten sponsored by Antihero and was doing really well, and the guy's knowledge of skateboarding is incredible. You know, Tony Hawk kind of called him the, you know, the gatekeeper of skateboarding. And it actually, you know, those love letters to skateboarding inspired me to do some shorts called Hate Letters to Skateboarding. Done 8 episodes of this terrible tripe, and here I am back again. I'm going to do my hate letter today on really bad skate fashion. I don't know, you say fashion, you know, and it's like, what is fashionable? You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Well, not necessarily. During the 80s, there was all kinds of horrible shit that was going on, like with clothes, with Vision Streetwear, and where I described everything that I couldn't stand about skateboarding, and those were kind of fun to do. Those are on my other junk channel, but it was just, you know, it was great to see him come back, you know, happy and sober and healthy, and just laughing and carrying on. And he was ripping it too at the Van Skate Park. He would do board slides, God knows, 10 blocks long, stalled eggplants. Those are hard to do, believe me. And it was just, it was awesome. It was awesome seeing, you know, in these love letters. I look forward to every episode that came out. So I guess at some point he ended up back using again, because he died on March 31st of 2020. I think he was in full cardiac arrest, like when he reached the hospital in, I want to say Newport Beach. And he had apparently died from cardiomegaly, which is an enlargement. The autopsy report had come out in December of 2020 and said that in addition to the cardiomegaly, that there was fentanyl found in the tox report. I don't know if he had overdosed on fentanyl, but he had certainly had a definite problem with you know, with heroin, opiates in general. But it's sad that it went out that way. He's got a son. Well, he had an Instagram. It's still there, called Grosso Sucks. And his son Oliver, who was in some of the love letters, I guess after his father's death, that Instagram account is still up, and he's sort of carrying on the new generation, if you will, torch. And I think that was the whole point of the love letters, was to carry the message to the newer skateboarding that might not have any idea about skateboarding history. And that's why his contributions were so valuable And you know, it's just unfortunate. LA Times have a video on his life, interviewing the two guys that put the love letters together, and they wrote a story, and they also have a video that's on YouTube, and I may put the link to that video in there if you want to know more. His mother talks about how much he loves skateboarding and what she thought his contributions were, but it was just one of those stories, you know. You go from getting sober, you relapse, and then you can end up, you know, dying. It can happen to anybody, and anybody that's lost somebody, and I've known quite a people that have died from fentanyl, and it's nothing to be played with. And if you are struggling, again, I'm not a medical practitioner. Please get the help that you need, because you don't want to end up, you know, dying from this bad disease. Rest in peace, Jeff Grosso. We love you.